Anyway, we are recording. Okay, Employment Preparedness Workshop, Module 2, Resume Writing. Presenter, Warren Bill White. Take it away, Bill.
Thank you, everyone. Just getting started. People that don't know me, I've been injured since 2016, C4, 5 car accident. So I haven't been in a chair that long. So I'm still learning how to be disabled. I think we all are still. I don't think it ever stops. But one thing I do know is I've been in called the executive search.
Oops, hang on. Oh, no. That really worked out well. Bill, I think you can unmute yourself. There you go.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hit mute all, not even thinking it was going to mute you too. So that was really bright.
Okay.
Okay.
So anyway, I've been in the executive search business for 30 plus years. We're not an employment agency. We don't get people jobs, but we do know what companies look for. That's basically what my experience is. That means what they like to see on resumes. Companies hire, the main things they look for is appearance, personality, enthusiasm, attitude, and accomplishments. But we're doing these step by steps. If anybody was on the first module last month, we talked about selecting companies, public versus private, industry versus other industries. So that's where it all starts. If you want to get the job you want rather than just any job, that's where it all starts, targeting your companies. But this is going to be on resume building, and resumes have one reason. The only reason there's a resume is for one reason. It gets you an interview. That's all it should be. It shouldn't be the interview. I've had resumes come in and there were 17 pages to 20 pages long. Nobody wants to read through that. So short and sweet is the best resume of all. For instance, like Amazon gets about 20,000 resumes a day. That's not overinflated. They get 20,000 resumes a day. So you imagine the HR department, which most of them go to, just has all that going through all that stuff one by one. So you need a resume. It should capture their attention in the first 10 seconds. What you do is you want them to read more. So capturing the first 10 seconds is going to be vital to staying at the top of the pile versus the bottom of the pile. So accomplishments is the main reason they're going to want to see you. Now, the goals that you have need to be realistic, though. You got to pick out the position or positions you want to apply for, as well as the company or companies you want to apply for. So packaging yourself with an objective. Everyone, I'm sure, knows what an objective is on a resume. Where it should be right after your address and contact information, or after your education, depending on what's stronger. But an objective should be, for instance, if I'm going for a customer service rep position with a specific company like ABC company, it should read something, and this is real specific, but it does work. To obtain a customer service rep position with ABC company that will lead to management based upon my performance. So it says basically what you want to do, how you want to get there, and how you're going to do it based upon your performance. Companies want to know what you can bring to the table. So your disability is going to be number 2 after you get that across to them. And education should be after that. Now, if you have a strong education, I suggest putting it at the top of the resume above your experience. If you have a somewhat, like I never finished college, so I would put mine at the bottom of the resume. So first thing you want them to see is your accomplishments, your experience. Or if it's an educational, like I know a lot of people have computer science degrees, masters that are in our group. I would suggest putting that at the top of the resume. Again, it captures the attention of human resources, where 90% of these resumes go. But the packaging of the objective is so important. I can't stress that enough. If you're just sending resumes blindly, then it's not going to work. But if you do your research companies that you're interested in, and then the specific positions that you're interested in applying for, they don't have to be running an ad. I'm going to stress that. They do not have to be running an ad. This is called the hidden job market, where companies hire a lot of people without running ads, because they're either going to promote somebody, fire somebody, create new positions, or simply just an add-on. If you're going to get a hiring manager to take an hour out of their time and interview you, they have ideas of doing what we just talked about. So, but packaging yourself is so important. So I suggest that. And if you need help with that, please get back to me. Everyone should have my email anyway. But again, education, top or bottom. Any questions to this point as far as packaging yourself or goals? No? Okay.
Everybody, you do have the ability to unmute yourselves. So just so you know.
Okay. So if anybody has any questions to this point. Now, this is the next step is probably the most important step of any resume. That's the body of content. And this is where your meat and potatoes are going to get you an interview. It's not going to get you a job, although it will get you an interview. And then it's up to you to obviously, and even on the interview, this is stuff that's so important. But accomplishments, you need to have accomplishments in there. I'm sorry. Let me see. But accomplishments is oh so important. And I don't mean achievements. I don't mean achievements. Achievements is like I have this certification, or I have additional coursework, or anything like that, or awards that I've received. That's achievements. That's not accomplishments. Accomplishments is I increased productivity at this company. I increased revenue at this company. I saved the company this much money. This is what's going to, first and foremost, get the attention of any hiring manager. So if you could use like the words decrease, increase, percent signs, I increased revenue by 25%, and being able to, or dollar signs, I increased revenue by $100,000 or productivity, or I saved the company $80,000 during this period. This is what's going to attract the attention of not necessarily human resources, but the hiring decisions, which is also important. If you can increase revenue, increase productivity, and save the company money, you're worth your weight in gold if you can accomplish all three. But this should be the meat and the potatoes of the resume, not a bunch of, I know my boss calls it gobbledygook, which is just try to eat up space in a resume. A resume should be 1 to 2 pages max. They don't want to see a book review. That's the last thing they want to see. So it should be 1 to 2 pages. If you have a lot of experience, you can condense it. If you've been around for a long time like me, you still need to condense it. Companies really don't care what you did 30 years ago. And again, I can't stress this, accomplishments are relevant to any industry in any position. You don't have to have, even if it's a position you're going after that you've never had before, or a company you've never worked, or that industry you've never worked in, your accomplishments and your past experiences are going to be relevant to any new job. They're gonna look and say, well, he's done this for that company, he's done this for this company. Perhaps he could do the same for us in this role or this. So I would do, if you have to go back and do a little research on your previous positions or companies, I suggest doing so and getting much information as far as the numbers that you've accomplished, the dates. Now, so in short, if you can tell people what you've done, how you've done it, and the results from what you've done, it's going to go over very well. I guarantee it. 99.9% of the time, it's going to sell yourself without talking with the people. So, and again, remember, a resume should get you an interview. It shouldn't be the interview. So, this is what companies want to see, regardless of your previous jobs. I can't stress it enough. If you've done this in the past, you can do the same for them. If anybody have any questions on that?
One quick question.
Sure.
Under achievements, would you put personal achievements as well?
Sure. You can put interest, but again, I would put those at the bottom of the resume.
Right.
Because they're not only hiring your experience, they're hiring you as a person too. So by all means, but it shouldn't be the first thing they see.
Right.
You want what's relevant to the job to capture their attention in the first 10 seconds or so. Capture their attention in the first 10 seconds. They're going to want to read more of your resume, and that's when they get to the rest of it. Again, 99% of these go to human resources, and unfortunately, companies are not prejudiced, but people are, some of them. So you want to be able to get around that. Like I think it's a judgment call if you want to disclose your disability on the resume. I personally don't think so, but you want to disclose when you secure the interview. That's what I suggest. But some people think they should have it right up front. So that's a judgment call on your thing. Again, companies aren't prejudiced, but people are. They might see that and put you right at the bottom of the pile. Where I suggest getting the interview, securing the interview when they call you, and then you say, can you accommodate, whatever your disability is. So I suggest doing that. Now, if you wait till the actual interview day or something like that, getting there, or you're showing up in a wheelchair, then I don't suggest that. You should disclose it right after the initial interview is set. Now, if after that and they cancel the interview, something's not right.
Right.
So I would again, it's a judgment call. A lot of people think they should put it on the resume. I personally don't. When it comes to what companies look for anyway. They said, I'm not an expert in getting disabled people jobs, but my 30 years is knowing what companies want to see. And I placed an attorney 25 years ago. He was a paraplegic, but he was number 2 in his class at Pepperdine, which isn't a huge law school. It's not at Harvard or Yale, but it was what he did previously, number 2 in his class. So he's still with the same companies, with Eaton Corporation, still there 25 years later. So I placed somebody who was blind, as a vice president of procurement. That means he bought all the supplies and services for the company, but they set him up with $20,000 in equipment just for blind people, for his disability. So it's what you've done, and how you've done it, and the results from what you've done. It's really going to capture their attention. And also, another thing that's very important is dates. You got to have specific dates, and because a lot of people try and just put their experience, but you got to break down dates for what jobs you've had with the company. If you're promoted 5 times within a company, or it's so important to put the dates because it's going to show progression. And dates from what the years you've been with the company versus the positions that you work for the company. Break it down into certain dates. July 2017 to present. I've been the customer service manager. Before that, I was customer service rep for 2 years. So another thing they want to see is not only accomplishments, but how you got there and your progression based on those accomplishments. company, you get promoted according to performance, let's face it. So if you're doing a great job, you're gonna get promoted, or you're gonna leave, either one. So if companies see a progression, you've had 3 or 4 positions and continual improvement and rewards, it's another thing. So dates are important. Your achievements, we just talked about that. Certifications, some people have, like I'm working on a position right now for an executive compensation leader with a $15 billion company. But the company requests a CCP certification, which is Certified Compensation Professional. So, but that's not something you're going to put right at the top. It's going to be down the bottom with additional education, coursework, art, as you were saying, interests, personal interests. Some people put, their father with 3 kids or hobbies, but again, it's at the bottom of the resume. And again, going back to the ADA disclosure, it's a judgment call on you. So let's open it up for questions right now that we can get to. I know we don't have the audience we had last month, so a lot of there's only a few people here that didn't see my first module. So let's open it up for questions right now if anyone.
Yes, we have a question.
Sure.
Oh, here we go. Hold it down.
So Lauren, we have a lot of clients that have never worked before, and they would like to, they're going to be first-time employed. What would you recommend they do as far as their resumes? How would you get them started as far as something like that?
I mean, if they've never worked before and they want to work?
Correct.
But if they've had no previous experience, you'd have to go on life experiences, or you would put in the objective to obtain an entry level, whatever position it is, with a certain company, ABC company, that will lead to advancement tied to my performance. So that's called an entry level position. So if they've never had any work experience before, you got to start from scratch. Now, you could say, now that's where education comes in more. If they went through education, you've got to draw upon your experience in your education, that your specialties, area of interest. That's going to be a short resume. If they have any work experience, even though it was 20 years ago, it's going to be relevant. But I suggest it starts with the objective. Now that's an entry-level program is going to be with every company, especially large companies. They're going to have management development programs. So again, you're going to be based on your potential, not what you've done in the past. So again, objective starts right off at the top to gain a entry-level position. Now, it should be a specific position though. I wouldn't just put it generically. But again, to lead to advancement based upon my performance. Then you start listing all your certifications and any accomplishments you've had in the past, even if it's in school. So I would suggest that starting at. And I wouldn't, and we're going to get this into another module. The next module is going to be targeting companies and who to contact within those companies, which is a whole nother ball game. Because just going to HR, and HR, believe me, it's not, they can be your friend, but if getting a job, but it shouldn't be the only person you're talking to within a company. It's going to be the hiring manager, and it's easy to find out who the hiring manager is, because most job ads or anything say reports to blah, blah, blah. So targeting those people rather than just human resources is going to be key also. And that's another module. So hope I answered your question.
Yes.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yes, you answered my question. Thank you.
Thank you.
Regarding achievements, which you were saying, if someone didn't have, I mean, I've pretty much a lot of experience working, not a whole lot, but a lot. Like in your cover letter, would you put in your cover letter, if they do in cover letters still, that any information about your accident or your disability in there, and then like say, because I was hurt at 17, I was talking to a friend of mine last night on the phone. He's like, he's trying to get me into public speaking or inspirational speaking. He's like, you got a story to tell. You hurt at 17 and you've accomplished all this. You know, you've achieved all this since but would you recommend putting something like that down, or?
Well, first of all, I'm not a fan of cover letters because again, it's added space. You want them to get to the meat and potatoes of what you've done and how you've done it. A cover letter is really part of an interview. I mean, it's basically what it is. And again, a resume should just get you. What a resume does is have somebody read long enough to where they say, I want to hear more. Let's bring this person in, or let's talk to them on the phone. And then you could disclose. But I suggest short is better in this case.
Right.
You know, and it is a great accomplishment what you've done, but you want to be based on your accomplishments, not what you've done disabled.
Right.
You know what I mean? You want the accomplishments to hit them right in the face when they're reading the resume. And then when you call, you can just, you know, when you're interviewing, you just go, I've done this, you know, I've been injured since I was 17, and explain to them. But if they hear what you've done and how you've done it and the results of what you did, that's really what's all going to matter, at least at this stage,
right?
Which is the introduction stage. So again, cover letters, you don't want hiring, or at least human resources, to have to read through a cover page before they get to your actual resume. Because again, the average person scans a resume about 10 seconds. And if they catch their attention, they'll probably scan it for another 30 seconds. And then you'll go to the top of the pile, or at least in what's called a finalist pile, or this is the top 10 people we want to talk to versus the 300 resumes that we just reviewed. Anybody else?
And Rusty, you're way too quiet. It's scaring me.
I think Rusty just put his picture up there and walked away.
Yeah.
No, I am listening, folks. I'm enjoying it. Thank you very much.
Okay.
I'm pirating all this valuable information for my own self or my students. So I appreciate it. And I'm just here to listen. So thank you.
And just also that it is being recorded, and I think we're going to have a place up on our website where we'll have the recordings available for people to go and watch. So, hey, Doreen.
If anybody wants some one-on-one training, don't hesitate to contact me.
Yeah, I'll be contacting you.
And Bill, can you remember, did we record the first module?
Yeah.
Okay. I can't remember. It's a month ago.
The first module was pretty generic, though. It was just like selecting companies. What company do you want to work for? And that's so important. If you want to get the job you want versus just any job, that's the first step, is targeting companies specifically. And again, it doesn't have to be to an ad response. It could be, I want to work for Qualcomm. I want to work for Petco. I would, especially companies that are very high on lists as far as hiring disabled people, which you can find, and you just Google, top companies in San Diego for hiring disabled people, and they give you a list. And then targeting those companies, finding out if it's a customer service position, finding out who the director of customer service is or the VP of customer service. I have people sending resumes to the hiring manager and the boss of the hiring manager, as well as the human resources, who the ad responds to. So if you just see something, please send resume to ABC company /resumes. It's not what you want to do. And again, you can find these people mostly on LinkedIn, if everyone knows what LinkedIn is. 99% of the time, you're gonna find director of customer service at ABC or something like that. If not, it's easy to do. You just Google and it's, my LinkedIn's like a recruiter's Bible. So we use it. I use it 90% of the time when I'm recruiting, or what you know, who you know. So it's who you know. So again, it's getting to the right people. You'll bypass a lot of paperwork. So I would keep it at that point there.
One more question for you.
Sure.
I worked 14 and a half years with the U.S. Customs Border Protection, which is CBP now. I had to go on disability retirement. I'm trying to get back to a part-time job because I can no longer do full-time. But all my experience is in admin and customer service. However, if I go back to my same job or something similar, they consider me fully recovered and I lose my disability benefits. So I'm trying to put something together where, since I can't do customer service, because I lose my benefits, that's mainly my experience in that field. So what would you suggest? That's why my friend was suggesting going into public
It's
speaking.
really not the position, right? It's the money.
What's that?
The position is not, it's the money that is why you lose the benefits, correct?
Right.
I think and again, I'm on working disability too, but I'm on what's called a 250 working disabled program. Rusty knows a lot more about that than I do. That you can make a certain amount of money. I think with Rusty, correct me if you want to jump in here. I think you can make up to like 60,000 or something. I'm working disabled.
Oh yeah, through the work. I know about the Social Security, but it's not so much the money. I think it's the position with OPM, personnel management, the government. It's if I go back to something similar or the same, then I lose my income from my retirement.
Okay, well,
Here's
go ahead, Rusty.
he has quality problems right now, Bill. It's called a quality problem. He's out on disability, but he can't re-enter the workforce because he had a quality, really good job, and he comes back, they'll no longer consider him disabled. So he's trying to figure out how to get through that hoop. And probably what you probably got to do is probably take some part-time job outside the realm of your expertise.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for.
And that would be probably something you should targeting more. And even on the realm of speaking engagements or book writing or conferences, those things can, those are things that you can work on. It's almost like you're basically retired, but too early retired and too bored.
Right.
And a little bit too broke sometimes, right? So, but
one word I would throw at you, it's called consulting. You could go back to customs and consult for the government. So you can make your own hours and pay, obviously, to where it doesn't interfere. But I always said consulting just means you're unemployed, but there, you do customer service consulting on a time, short time basis, part time.
And our
after consulting gigs within the customer,
do they consider that? I'm wondering if OPM considers that customer service though, or
yeah, I see where you're at.
Yeah, it's like, I told him, I go, look, I'm not getting any better. I've been in the chair for 40 years this June, so I don't see how you can consider me fully recovered. But
have you ever talked to your rehab counselor about doing contract with them?
Through Vocal Rehab?
Yeah.
No.
Talk to them, see what they say.
About doing what?
Private rehab through them, doing they have like sometimes contractors who do placements for people out in the field. You do drive still, right?
Yeah.
So maybe you can talk to your counselor or something. Maybe that part-time gig might be something, I know what you're trying to do. You're trying to stay busy, make some money and be active and, right? Is that it? Is that
yeah.
just
I mean, I don't have to break the bank. I just need something to my income.
Right. So that's somewhere you want to look at, like some stuff like that what I call contract work, part-time work, or and consulting work, so.
There's places called it's Kelly Services, which is a huge contract company. Ametech, AMETEK, huge contract services company. do a lot of technology in aerospace and defense, but they're the bigger ones. Manpower is another one.
Yeah. But a lot of the more accessible jobs that he's talking about would be customer service over the phone, and then that would eliminate him from his present disability employment because that's what he retired. That's what he got out on. So he can't come back to that type of position. So, which even the field for him to return is small, and now it's even smaller, but it's doable.
Well, that's why I say realistic goals. You know, you might have to change what you've done before and be more realistic. And being realistic, not only physically, but also what you personally can do as far as, again, without losing your benefits.
Right.
So,
You ever thought about sales or anything like that?
Not really. Isn't that considered customer service too?
Well, it depends what you put on it. You know, I would put sales on it.
Yeah,
I wouldn't put customer service.
That's what I was hoping to do, is like before the shutdown, I was hoping to get my foot in the door just to talk to them and say, look, can you change the job title?
Right.
Right. Like that,
Yes.
I know if I can get in there somewhere, there's a place to
the most sales positions are going to be incentive based too, where customer service isn't. So if you can get a small stipend or small salary with the incentive based, that might be alleviate your problem. Because I for 37 years. I worked on 100% straight commission.
Wow.
So my old boss used to say, "You want to raise?" I go, "Yeah, you just make another sale." So so you can really dictate what you make.
Okay.
And if you're 1099, you can write a lot off, obviously.
Yeah, maybe I'll talk to my old boss, see about the consulting thing you were talking about, see if there's anything out there.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
I've been asking, right?
Yeah. But consulting would be a good place to start, or with Rusty mentioned contract services. Something that you can dictate what you make.
I did that for years. I did that for a number of years, where I was a 1099 consultant in the industry. So,
where would you get experience doing that? Can you go online?
I worked in the industry for 32 years.
Uh-huh.
So at one point I broke away from working for somebody to doing the consulting work. So, and I had a good network established by that point. So,
right.
Yeah, because like my company, my firm hired me back, but on a 1099. That way, it doesn't interfere with my benefits either. Because I'm on a 250 working disabled, but that's okay for Medicare. But for Social Security, like you're talking about, you can only make a certain amount, like $1,100 a month or something.
Yeah.
So we do my 1099. So first of all, if when I do file, I can write so much stuff off, or keep it to where I don't have to file at all taxes. But we make it work, so it does work. If you get in a unique situation now, your problem is you're going in blind. I've been blessed to having my former employer hire me back. So.
Plus, I got to work out because I'm under Medi-Cal too, so you can only earn so much a month. You can't have over $2,000 in the bank at the end of the month, or you continue, cut off your, or go doing, start paying for your caregivers. You got to, start paying.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's ways to work around that, or you need to talk to Rusty on the ABLE accounts.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I have an ABLE account. I just got one last year.
Then okay, that you should be able to.
You put it in there, but then you can only use that for medical purposes. But yeah. Yeah.
No. You're wrong on the ABLE account. You can use that almost for anything, brother.
I thought you could only use it for medical.
No.
Something to do with your disability.
No, yes, it does, but it's they gave you a big umbrella because what it is, it's a quality of life issue, and you're allowed to use it for vacations. You're allowed to use it for a load of stuff.
Really?
Yes.
I heard that you can do that.
Well, you're being misinformed by the misinformed. I'm gonna tell you right now, because it was set up by Obama, and it was under it's ABLE stands for able. It's almost like there's an acronym for better way of life, something like that. It's for a better quality. It stands for better living something. It's for better living.
Right.
And that falls when you say better living, a vacation is better living. You know what I mean? So so it falls. You can get it underneath that. So
There's a whole thing on the go to our website, right on the homepage. There's a blog in there about ABLE accounts, and you know, if you click on the read more, I believe it even has links to it. Which I got that from Rusty. So
Okay,
it gives you everything you need to know. But yeah, there's
that's good to know. I totally missed that part of it then.
Maybe it's the Able company you're talking to too.
Pardon me?
Maybe it's the type of Able account you have. Are they the ones that told you that?
I think I looked online and it was saying, well, you can spend the money on through ABLE accounts. It was saying it has to be, I believe it was, it has to be something to do with medically approved. I mean, it could be like massages, it could be acupuncture, stuff like that, but it had to be something to about your disability. It couldn't be like, well, I'm going to go on vacation for a weekend of Vegas or something. And that was my understanding that we wouldn't allow that.
I just Googled it, and it stands for achieving a better life experience.
Oh,
there you go.
So
We'll go to Vegas for a week doing that.
Vegas is achieving a better life experience all the way. and what stays in Vegas stays there, So that's definitely achieving a better way of life. Yeah. So no, I made sure before I started participating in this. The other rumor that was out there was if you die, they keep the money. That's
right.
That's another inaccurate rumor.
Really?
These are all rumors. You have to really don't take what you hear on the chatterbox. Go to the people that do it. And so there's a lot of things. No, that
was my understanding as well. That if you didn't,
that's why I said it, because that was a big fear of mine, and I really don't care anymore. But the bottom line was it is a consideration of not. Us in the disabled field don't have a whole lot of trust for a lot of programs and stuff.
Right.
So we're fear nature by base, But then when it comes to this stuff, we're even more so. So you have to really be careful. Just get with someone that knows a little bit more about it. I'd be glad to go in detail. Like come up with what you think it stands for, what you believe, because I can tell you all about it. And it doesn't make any sense if you get that fear.
Right.
If you're believing they're going to take my money, I can sit here and tell you how great it is. It's still not going to work for you.
Right.
I got a question because I'm kind of ignorant when it comes to all this ABLE account stuff. But is it feasible to have a company do direct deposit right into an ABLE account?
Yes, you can. You can have your employer. You can have your employer deposit the money for you.
Okay.
Yep.
That opens up some doors.
No, it's not.
That works.
But it's like 12 to 14,000 a year, $100,000 limit. I'm not good with details, so you can ask my boss about that.
That was my understanding too.
But I am good with the overall. If it's coming to me, I would look into it, make sure I know the details perfectly. Even like the 250%, that's up to 24,000. 24,000 some change. So that's changed.
But that's for Medi-Cal, right?
Yeah.
Social Security is less.
No. Because it's Medi-Cal, you would be eligible for Medi-Cal, you're on 250% because of that.
Okay.
So 64 change now.
I'm on Medi. And
yeah, I don't know about the other part of that.
Yeah. Because, but Social Security, I was told from one of our previous programs that we had, Rick had people for Social Security speaking. I remember, I thought he said on Social Security, just able you can make up to $1,200 a month.
That was Michael Coates.
Yeah.
again, Bill, on our website under the resource tab, employment resources, there's a whole thing on the past program, but there's also links to the Red Book.
Yeah,
And that Red Book has got answers to so much. I can get you Michael's email too, if you want to ever shoot him an email
Yeah.
direct.
Mike,
So,
everybody keeps telling me, I'm still confused.
so
Yeah, it is.
you,
But I know what companies want, but I really don't know how to navigate around all
Mm.
the benefit type part.
so when it comes to these systems and stuff like that, and I don't want to jack your resume thing, but I just want to let you know that it's funny because Art and I have traveled a career path together. And whenever we used to get together at workshops, right, we say, how much you making? You still got your benefits? And how much you making? And he was on a different program because he came in under SSI and Social Security. I
Right.
came under SSDI, which is a different system.
Yeah,
So he was allowed to make more under 1916 than I was under the 250%. I used to go, you son of, because his income was significantly higher than mine. It didn't harass him. Mine was, no, I don't say we were competitive guys and we're close to it and everything, but it was funny. But the quality of our problems changed, but we still had those issues where we had to ask each other, what are you doing? How much you making? How are you getting by? So there's different programs for each individual. So it's a really, there's no one blanket statement. I don't want to say, like you can make this, you can do that, because it's every individual is different. And then if you get lucky, you got to ask who is behind the curtain. The wizard behind the curtain is doing your recertification. That's the one that you have to ask.
It's pretty scary because I've gone
Yeah.
through security before. And even the people at Social Security don't even know what the hell. Half of them don't know.
Right.
You start talking to them, they're like, "Well, we've never heard of that program before." I'm like, "Well, it's under Social Security, like 1619B. I was under that, and every year I'd get so you're earning too much money." I go, "No, I'm not. I'm qualified under 1619B. We've never heard of that program." Well,
Yeah.
you're working for Social Security,
But there's 109 programs under Social Security, something
Yeah,
like that,
yeah.
something ridiculous,
Yeah.
And, it's like asking me about the college district. They think I know something about it. No, I do not know much about any of it.
Right.
Just in my little neighborhood, I can tell you a little bit about it, but there's so much stuff out there.
Well, it's good to know about the Able account because I'm gonna start busting my butt then.
Yeah.
It really is up to us to do our own research,
Yeah.
so that when you go into these places and say you get somebody who doesn't know the program that you're under and they're saying, well, you made too much money, that you can actually produce, documentation right then and there on the program. And so that they know that because I'll tell you, if the person you're dealing with knows that you did your research and that you're very familiar with the details of that program, they're less likely just to begin tossing out, oh, you made too much money, oh, you did this, if they don't really know. So.
and I really believe that if the company really wants to hire you, they'll work something out with you.
Yeah.
So when I was getting on the 250% program, they told me they didn't know. And I talked to the lady that was head of it. So I had her contact information. I says, well, here, you might want to call this lady and talk to her about it. She was the head of the department under the whole Health and Human Services department. She was the head of it. I said, here, you might want to talk to her. They looked at it and went, oh, okay. So they had to go back and do their research because they weren't informed, and I, but I don't have to, I have to advocate, but I don't always have to educate them on their programs because I don't know it either, So.
Which there's two things I want to just take a couple minutes or a minute to bring up. A week from today, the 17th, Rusty's boss, Jamila DeCarli will be hosting our first quarterly town hall meeting, and she'll be presenting on the Workability 3 program. That'll be at noon, same time, a week from today. And then I believe the following Monday after that, which might be the 22nd, Annie Straight, who is the grassroots advocacy manager for United Spinal, will be on our Monday a Monday Zoom call
It's-
talking about self-advocacy. So there's some good, and even, and the best thing that's coming up is on the 19th, it's a Friday at 5:30 PM. And it's our first virtual social or happy hour. And it's going to be called Critters and Cocktails, so you can bring your pet.
Yes, preferably your dog's not checking out.
You're responsible for your pet if your pet gets out of control.
Yes.
Are there any other questions for Bill?
Oh, Bill, I'll be getting a hold of you to get, what's her name's number, or if you can text it to me.
Yeah, I'll text it to you.
And then I'll get a hold of you too. Maybe you can give me some advice one-on-one with
Okay.
regards to,
That'd be
I
fine.
appreciate your help.
Hey, no problem. I'm here.
Awesome.
Bill, can we have your email or your contact information?
Sure. I don't know if Rick could send it out or,
Heidi, do you want me to just email you that?
Yeah, that'd be
I'll
great.
shoot you an email with his phone number and email. Bill, which email are you get your Spinal Network email, right?
yeah.
Okay. So, okay. Heidi, I'll shoot you that email with his contact info.
Okay,
Yeah.
great, thank you.
All right, thank you.
All right.
Anything else? Any other questions? Tim, good to see you. Well, kind of.
Yeah, Tim, you've grown
There you
since the last, Tim, you've grown since the last time I've seen you. Well,
You're muted. You're muted, Tim. There you
I actually did because I ate too much ice cream.
go. Yeah, Super Bowl Sunday. Everything that I had, I had to dip into the nacho cheese. So, mozzarella cheese sticks. Yep, dip it in nacho cheese. We used our air fryer for French fries. Yep, dip them in nacho cheese. Onion ring, dip it in nacho cheese. Everything. It was there. I figured it was there to be dipped in. So.
I have to admit, I had a little bit of a hangover Monday.
Did you?
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't have nothing to drink that day. It was crazy.
Yeah, I didn't either. I had probably a food indulgent hangover. So, or I should just say a cheese indulgent hangover. Maybe that was it. So, well, Bill, what's the topic for module 3 next month?
Look this up.
And I'm going to give a date.
Okay, the next module is what companies to target and how to approach them. So marketing yourself to the hidden job market and who to contact within those companies.
And do you have March 10th? Is that good for you, Bill?
Yeah.
The
Is
second
that a
one?
Wednesday? Is it a Wednesday?
It is.
Yeah.
It's the second Wednesday. Okay. Then March 10th at noon will be module 3.
Great.
We're almost halfway through the first cycle.
Then we'll start all over again.
Then we'll start all over again in July. Yeah. So, well, thanks everybody for taking the time to join in.
Okay. So Bill, you want me to email you or
Yeah.
to get her number? Great.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
And then I'll send you Annalea's number, new number.
Okay. And how do you pronounce her name?
Annalea.
Nalia. Okay.
Yeah. A lot of people say Analia.
That's what I was saying.
Yeah, Analia. Now, whether she has a daughter named Ilana. It's actually Annalea spelled backwards.
Okay. All right, guys. Thanks a lot.
All right, good to see you again. Take care.
Take
Bye-bye.
care.
Take care, everybody.
Richard, find U-turn or watch that.
I will.
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Hey there. There we go. Oh, geez, look at that. Okay, turn the lights off.